looking for a new center console, why would I choose a Sailfish?
We have a very, very unique construction process that's quite dissimilar than any one of our peers. And we have a very unique hull design. Our hull design is a 7th generation off the original Seacraft hulls from the 70s. It's a variable degree hull. Starts in at 23, 22 degrees or 24 degrees and then flattens out at 22. Gives us a real nice dry ride, very steady ride. Boats plane very quickly. They don't need a lot of trim. So that's, I would say, our construction process and our variable degree hull. We don't use any wood in our boats. They're all fiberglass reinforced products. We lap strake our stringers with Kevlar. All the nooks and crannies throughout the entire boat, we cover in Kevlar. So that, when you see a Sailfish that's 10, 15 years old in the marina, it doesn't have all those stress cracks all over the place. We also use a ceramic coating called spray core after our bulk coating. And it's a very unique process. But what that ceramic coating does, after you put on your other layers of glass, it stops the heat transfer. And so when you look at the outside of a Sailfish, when I pop my boats out of the mold, we don't sand them. They're beautiful. They're very smooth. You don't see any ripples. You don't see any porosity. You don't see any bulkheads. It's a very unique process. So I love taking our people through the unique things that we do and some of the products we use. Composite stringers. Everything in our boat that has a screw in it is through bolted. Everything's aluminum backed. Our boats are heavy than most other brands, and we make them that way. A heavier boat rides better. So we like to say we build the Sailfishes like a tank.
Yeah, I saw that on your website.
Yeah,
and they don't look like a tank from a distance.
They don't. They're gorgeous. They're beautiful, but the construction process. You can just see the hardware I use. Mm-hmm. Let me show you. If I'm supposed to use a hinge this big, we use a hinge this big. If I'm supposed to use a cleat this big, we use a cleat this big. And this is American stainless steel, not Chinese stainless steel.
And Chinese stainless steel,
Chinese stainless steel is mixed with other metals, mm-hmm. and it's called rusted steel. You can always tell. All you have to do is bring a magnet along, and you can see who's using the cheaper stuff.
Well, in your first answer, you answered about 3 of my questions, because I wanted to ask you about the variable dead rise approach. 1 degree doesn't sound like much difference, but
you'd be surprised. But we also do some other unique things. We do a real hard shine on the outside, which channels the water off really nice. You can see all of those on some of our videos that are available on our Factory Fridays on our website. It really does make a big difference. When you're looking at a lot of our competitors that are strictly fishing boat companies, most of them have a straight 24-degree dead rise. And that boat would be great if you're trolling or if you want to go to the Bahamas, 50 miles an hour. But if you like rafting off at an island, or if you like bottom fishing, or if you like, cruising the intercoastal or cruising your lake and looking at fall colors, that flatter back end is going to give you more stability. You're not going to get that back and forth buoyancy. That's what that does. And it also lifts the boat up quicker when you're playing.
Mm-hmm. So
which is what we're known. What's what we're known for. A lot of our boats we don't even use a lot of trim tab. We literally just use a lot of positive trim off the engines.
So faster to plane and more stability.
Yeah, stability, drier ride.
Low to mid speed.
We can also, if you just scan this, look at the interior space of this boat.
Yeah.
Okay. We have the highest freeboard in the industry. That's your water line to your highest fixed point of your gunnel. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. We're able to take the sides of our boat all the way out to that hard shine and that freeboard, and it gives all of our boats more square footage in the inside. A lot of times my 31-footer has more square footage than most people's 35s. My 25 is bigger than most people's 27s. And that's because of that, how we build the boat.
So you said you've been at Sailfish for the last
6 years. Yeah.
What's been the key to or the biggest point evolutionary points during that time?
Well,
that
you know
you've
what?
introduced?
It was owned by a good friend of mine, Paul Hoppus, who had it forever. Um, Paul did not have the background that I had and the dealer contacts. I was able to bring some some of my employees from Sea Ray with me, my head designer, my VP of sales and marketing, some other engineers, and we were able to really do a much better job on the wiring. We just cleaned up a lot of things. Paul built a great boat. It was an unbelievable foundation. But there were some things that you know, if you read on Google from the older sailfishes, like the wiring. And I'm pretty proud of the fact that in my 6 years, we've retooled every boat. Our whole model lineup is brand new. And last year we won Boat of the Year with our 232.
So, okay, let me see what I missed. Kevlar, that's what I wanted to talk a little more about. You just said if you don't use that, stress cracks show up around the strakes.
Well, no, around little corners. So
okay,
in my 43 years of boat building, you figure out all these little things that happen. And mainly where the stress cracks happen is where there's a pressure point, especially when your lamination department is spraying the gel coat. You know, it's just it's an easy spot for it to get cosmetic cracks. They always freak people out, and they're unsightly. They don't have anything to do with the structure, but some boats after 2-3 years have hundreds of them, and you know it's not a good look. When you put Kevlar in all those stress points, you don't get that. It's just a lot stronger, and it's going to hold that up, so you're not going to see those little cracks. You learn that when you've been doing this as long as I've been doing this. You know, I was president of Baja when I was at Brunswick, also besides Sea Ray, and we used to build half that boat was in Kevlar and carbon fiber. So you know, I had a lot of experience. Every boat at Baja we built did 60 miles an hour. Every boat left the factory 60 miles an hour. So you learn to work with some unique substances so those holes don't crack. And I took some of that with me to the other places I've been. Yeah. And I'm proud of that. I mean, if you come to the plant, I can show you how we do it, and it's pretty cool. You know, our liners, every 8 inches, we use carbon fiber I-beams. There's not another boat company I know that puts I-beams underneath their whole liner. You step on a sailfish, this feels like concrete. You walk on some people's boats, it feels like you're walking on a trampoline. Not mine. This boat here, you can put 25 people in this boat and it ain't gonna move.
So I think you've answered the question in terms of why
sailfish.
Why sailfish?
Yeah.
And
then honestly, the other thing, we really, really, really back our customers. I answer my phone 7 days a week. Everyone on my staff does the same thing. You know, it comes from the top down. It's our main priority is to take care of our customers whenever they have a problem, even if it's on Christmas, even if it's on New Year's. You know, I always tell everybody, nobody's boat breaks on a Monday and Tuesday. They always break on a Saturday and Sunday. So if you want to work for me, you better leave your phone on because we take care of these people. And I'm proud of that. I did that at Sea Ray. I did that everywhere I've been. We do that at Sailfish, and you can ask our distribution. The dealers love it. They love that backing. Every single CSI that comes in, I personally call the customers that bought our boat. Everyone. And you don't see that in today's world. And I care. You know, I got 150 people we got to feed every day, my employees, and they mean a lot to me. You know, they're the ones that make the company. So, and our customers do too. So I think it's a little bit of old school customer service that we provide, and we're proud of that.
Cool. I'm glad to hear it.
Good.
What is your next? What are you rolling out next?
You know what? I'll tell you what I'm looking at. So when you look at what's going on with our Gen Zs, our millennials, Xers, Ys, in the next 10 years, there's going to be a transformational wealth that happens in the trillions from people like me, baby boomers. I have a 29-year-old son. Well, a lot of those people have the water gene. They've grown up boating. They've done some really cool things. They've been outdoors, whether they fished with grandpa or their uncle or their dad. They just can't afford a boat right now. Boating is unbelievably expensive. We have some really cool things that have happened. Seakeeper Ride, unbelievable. The new Yamahas, the new Mercuries. I mean, when I started in this business, engines broke all the time. They don't break anymore. The fuel efficiencies on some of the models are 40% better than they were 10 years ago. They're lighter, they're faster, and they don't break. They sound like sewing machines when you start them up. That's all cool. They're really expensive. And everything you see in a boat is an FRP product in most cases. A lot of people have stopped using wood. Fiberglass reinforced product, all of those are derived off oil. So if oil's expensive, although these products are expensive. And so the price of the boats have gone up tenfold in comparison to a lot of other things in the world. And we've lost a lot of people. And so we're working on right now a really cool, affordable, innovative entry-level sailfish. Because those folks want to go boating. They don't have the means right now. They're going to have the means. But they want value, and they want quality, and they want a good price, and they want to be able to get into boating. So I truly believe that myself and my peers, we've all got to put our heads together and come up with some really cool, affordable, entry-level boats.
So are your ideas a few years out, or are you?
No. We got some stuff cooking right now.
I look forward to seeing that in the near future.
Me too.